Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Esteemed FaceTime with Leaders, an initiative by World Development Corporation. I'm Ajuna Sharawat, anchor at World Development Corporation. FaceTime with Leaders is a platform for industry titans to share their experiences, thoughts, ideas, and best practices in order to inspire one another and future leaders. In a nutshell, we attempt to encapsulate the multi-decadal learnings acquired by these industry leaders. We also hope that by conducting these FaceTime interviews, we can bring together a global community of eminent personalities. By bringing together such visionaries on one platform, we hope to play a part in inspiring the lives of other leaders. Great learnings from great leaders undoubtedly assist everyone by identifying, nurturing, and using the trade secrets that are proven success formulae for many. And this is what we aim to make these sessions that are a gathering of industry stalwarts and a knowledge-sharing community. We have one such industry stalwart on FaceTime with Leaders with us today, Upendra Naik. With over 25 years of experience across multiple roles, namely product management, engineering leadership, program management, product design and development, AI, NLP, and analytics. He has been developing complex enterprise products across geographical regions. Having gained skill across industries, namely AdTech, e-commerce, retail, insurance, BPM, ERP, CRM, knowledge management, and banking, Upendra is at present the Vice President of Learning Matters Pvt Limited and heads product and technology in the EdTech domain, plans and leads the tech architecture, design and delivery of Tara flagship product, Voice and NLP. Welcome Upendra to FaceTime with Leaders.
Thank you, Angela. Glad to be here.
It's our honor. Upendra, please tell us about your career journey.
Sure, Angela. So academically, I hold a dual degree. I have a Bachelor of Science in Electronics, and plus I have done my computer science engineering from Mumbai University. And so that's a postgraduate bachelor's degree. Which is from a government college. At that point of time, it was called BSc Tech course, and it is incommensurate with branch 8 of UDCT Mumbai. Now, post my academic, have worked for about 25 years in multiple companies, primarily in product development companies and service industries, in software, primarily software industries, right? And I have actually started my career with a banking company called Kaya Consultants. It's now called as Axelia Solutions, and they are in airline. But when we started in banking solutions, I got exposure to banking domain and then programming languages like C and then SQL Informix. Post which I worked with a company called Newman Systems. It is an Indian startup. This was 25 years ago, by the way. So taking that perspective, and it was the domain was ERP solutions. So we used to develop custom product for manufacturing industries, and where I was involved in product development and implementation of ERP solutions for such organizations. Where my exposure came into inventory management, MRP, which is material requisition planning, purchase, exercise, and those kind of ERP related modules. I also worked in AppTech Worldwide, which is basically a training and development company for software. And I actually developed a product which was basically for center automation, which is from student enrollment all the way till their certification. So I was involved in developing this product, which was deployed across at that time 1,500 centers in AppTech worldwide, in India and globally. And it was a great honor actually to work on such kind of automation solution, which was pretty unique in those days. And this was developed on Power Builder and Oracle technologies, in brief. Through AppTech, actually, I got a chance to work with, I moved to the US, and there I worked for about 6 years. Partly in AppTech, I consulted with a company called Clear Technology. Now it is being called as Ignite Technologies. Clear Technology, at Clear Technology, I was involved in developing again a flagship product called Business Process Management, which was a totally new concept at that point of time. Even this particular domain BPM did not exist, as we call it today, and we were in the magic quadrant, leading in the magic quadrant for a while initially. And I was involved, being in US, I got good exposure to US culture. That was a very complex product. We call it zero code configuration, process automation, rule engine, analytics engine, and a large of most of the product basically required to fetch data from external systems. And we developed plugins to integrate into mainframes and AS400 systems, which were legacy systems at that point of time. Process the data and push back the processed case into the original system. So this product actually, I got to work across insurance domains and a notice of loss, healthcare. So these kind of insurance industries, you could use this for any service industry. Actually, this was the product which was quite flexible at that point of time, developed on Microsoft technology, Visual Basic, and and ASP.NET. I was involved in developing the external management system and page repeaters. So there I was there for about 5 to 6 years, post which I actually came back to India through them and joined one of the business partners called E4E Business Solutions. I got to work in those companies for implementing the same product. And we also developed services on tap initiative for integrating call centers, basically. So it's a software which was used by E4E call center employees for financial call related transactions management, from US. So that was E4E. Post E4E, I worked with Thomson Reuters. I joined Thomson. During my stay, it got acquired. They both merged. Reuters and Thomson merged together. I worked in their scientific division. Got exposure to order to cash, contracting and contracting systems, and Salesforce. By the way, so my journey until now, which I have explained, was primarily technology side. It was development, analysis, design of software products. And those were the technologies. So I joined, in fact, Thomson Reuters. I was working as an associate project manager. So this is where my management role actually started. So from Thomson Reuters all the way up to 5 years ago, I have been completely into techno-managerial role or technical management, what we call engineering management, services management, custom software development, but more on the management side. Until E4E and Thomson Reuters, I have been primarily into a technology lead developer. And at once I finished my career at Thomson Reuters, I joined a company called Aptian. It used to be called as SupportSoft, then got acquired by Crosso, by Consona, and then currently they merged. While I was leaving, they had merged CDC software and Consona to form a new brand called Aptian. So this is again a US MNC company, and there were 40 products in this company. Actually, it's a totally product aligned company. They grow by inorganically acquiring multiple companies which are not performing well and then making them profitable. right? So that engineering processes as well as product development, customer acquisition. I was involved in engineering, program management. I was involved in services. I was also involved in handling multiple products in terms of engineering delivery, right? So that was my role at Aptian. Later on, I headed the stage gate model, which was implemented at Aptian for efficient product development across these 40 products. So one of the verticals was portfolio, is called SCM, supply chain management, and verticals VS, SCM VS. So that I was heading that portfolio while the last, when I was director of engineering, right? Director of program management. So that was my 8 years at Aptian, multiple roles, very wide exposure across various global geographies, worked with Europe, Americas, and then partly in India. Most of the projects were global. After Aptian, I worked with Crossover. Crossover for Work is basically a remote employment, or it's basically a global company. They are probably more aggressive, or they are, I should say, more aggressive than Aptian, where they actually acquire customers and they make them functional within 20% of the cost by increasing their profits multifold. So they have a very standard proven process in acquisitions and integration. So they mostly work there. All the employees work globally from their home, and I was working as a product manager there. Okay, so I was leading into product management, product and program management. This was where actually I got the exposure of working with a project on NASA. So I developed technical product specifications for NASA. I mean, NASA is one of the customers of Ignite Technologies, for whom I worked. Crossover is just a payment processing company. So this Ignite Technologies crossover tie-up, NASA related projects or business process management related products, I essentially worked in creating technical specifications and worked with engineering primarily. This is where actually my exposure to product management has come up really well. And followed by, I worked for a brief period at Narwar, where I was set up. I was responsible for setting up India Delivery Center, Engineering, R&D and Services Center in India for Narwar, which is a US startup. They started somewhere in 2012, 2013. And I was with them between 2017 and 2019, when I, along with my boss, we set up an India delivery center for Narwar. So that was a very interesting stint. This was an e-commerce software. So again, I was involved in, from title perspective, I was a senior program manager here at Narwar. Moving on, currently I work with Learning Matters. I work as, I lead the product and technology at Learning Matters. We develop a flagship product called Tara, which is basically conversational English learning experience using AI, which is natural language processing, is a part of artificial intelligence. And I am involved in architecting, designing, deploying, and product roadmap planning. And I also, to an extent, have been involved in writing code, being a small startup. So I have been writing, doing multiple roles here. I've been having a lot of fun so far. And here, I got a very, very wide exposure, in fact, in last 2.5 years. So I think we'll cover more if required, but product, technology, and content is what I actually had here. And out of the 4 vertical heads, I am one of the vertical head here. So that's my brief background, Anjuna. I hope that was not very lengthy, but it required to do justice, so I've just covered it.
Amazing that was. And here our viewers would like to know, what does it take for someone to be so multi-skilled and proficient in so many roles?
Yes, good question actually. As you can see, my 25 or rather 26, 27 years of experience, I stopped counting after 25, is it has come up by evolving through so many roles in mostly product development companies, okay, in software industries. Uh, how did I get multi-skilled is, as you can see, I've switched a lot of companies, okay. Uh, I believe I have taken a lot of risks when it came to offering roles to me. Okay, so whenever there was an opportunity in my current company, which was when the company demanded, no one was available to take up those kind of roles, or someone asked me to take it up, and it was risky. I usually took the risk with some calculated risks. So uh, my journey when I started as a developer till the time I became a technical lead was a very normal journey. Any software engineer probably mm, goes through those skills, and technology skills are common. You move from um, XYZ skill to the newer skill, which are new in the technology sector. But that's normal. But when it came, I moved from US to India. One of the first switch was I moved the technology platform completely from my Microsoft background to Java. So that was a big switch. Many times people fear and continue in their comfort zone and continue to do what they do. I was asked to do technical leadership role in Java platform. With some support from my management, they said, you can take it up, and I took it up, and I think I made my decisions right. You can say that way. As Tata says, if you take wrong decisions, make your decisions right. So I took risks like these in switching from technology platform. There were situations where when I went into management and I started working into management role, I actually wanted to come back into technology because I felt like uh, 5 to 8 years or 10 years in between, I had lost the touch of technology, and the technology had completely changed in those 5, 10 years. So when I decided to make a switch, I was given this opportunity where there was a brain drain in one of my companies, and a lot of people who we were going to insource an outsource product, and I was actually in services, and I wanted to come back into engineering and product development. That is when I saw this opportunity. No one was picking it up. I took this. My bosses supported me, and I again made a switch from management into technology at that point of time, which was actually a risk. So I got exposure to the newer technologies since then. This was 2015, 2016. So that is when my again journey into tech started with the current trend of software industry, or the current technologies, which we call the latest generation of software stack. MERN, you call it MERN, React, AI, or big data, NLP. So these kind of risks I have taken based on the situation that demanded during my work, and that probably has given me this opportunity actually to develop these skills. Similarly, yeah, at Learning Matters currently, I am taking up, as 3 roles now. At this point of time, I think uh, I have become probably what should I say, for the lack of words, seasoned to take up risks, and and started taking additional risks. So taking three kind of larger roles: product, technology, and content management, is something I could do, I thought, with the support of my founders. So I took up that, and I think that is another way where I got exposure to even content side of the stream, right? How content development is done in education. The product, the architecture, the technologies, I have been aware. That was my strength. But then the third one that came now was content. So I think that's primarily where I think I have caught my multiple skills from. By taking new roles, I did not shy away from okay, from taking up any new roles, even if I was not in the comfort zone. I learned new things. So I would say learn new things, kept on, keep increasing your knowledge. Though you start initially, take some help from someone, subject matter expert or technology experts if you need to, but primarily you are the one who are going to, take it ahead. So they bank on you. You have to figure out ways to correct if you end up in problems also. So I think it's just the 25 years, I would say, primarily, to summarize. And I was fortunate, I would say, that my bosses with whom I have worked in the past have believed me, and they gave me these opportunities, and I could sail through them.
Now, at this point, we would like to know, what leadership qualities do you suggest our viewers today to become future leaders?
Yeah, so I think India has come at a stage over last 20, 25 years, what I have seen, right? When I started my career here, we were not even into product development, right? Especially into software product development. Um, India was at a very early stage in somewhere 90s, and we were only doing services opportunities. Today, India has come a long way. Actually, it is leading in product and technology, along with China, US, and Europe. So we are going at a very good pace, and the going will only get better as we move ahead through years. So what is required from us to compete with these global giants is create products and services which are globally competitive, not just for the local market. Create something with focus on today's needs, but plan for a long-term future impact. Analyze the risks, analyze how the market dynamics will change. Anything that you develop should be looked into with all the angles of not only current situation, and when I say current, it is 1 to 3 years, but 5 years down the line, how is your product roadmap? And every 6 months and 1 year, you need to review your processes when it comes to operations, when it comes to engineering or product development. Review your product roadmap, realign it based on the changes or something that new you have learned from your competitors. Be completely embrace the change, actually, right? So embrace the change is what I'm trying to say. You have to adapt whenever you have to adapt your product roadmap. So you need to evolve. Otherwise, if you don't take adaptive role, or you don't take risks essentially in research and development, and exploring the new opportunities in the areas in which your product is going to be impacted, impacting the world, it's quite possible, you could be doomed, right? So there are many companies who have ignored the call of the hour, and they just Sony was, as you know, they were leaders in music. Today we have totally different companies. So that's how you have to adapt and evolve is one thing. And then also focus on sustainable product development in terms of which bring environmental and social impact as well, right? So today India and basically global community is moving towards sustainable development goals, and I think we need to develop products with that in mind. That is today's demand. If we are not aligned to those goals, I think the products that we are developing today, if they don't have if they don't encompass this SDG UN charter, I think that will be something the product may come across serious compliances issues, and may even go towards failure. So I think that is one thing, competitive product, sustainable product development, and then lastly, the stakeholder engagement is most important. and customer engagement. When I say all kinds of stakeholder engagement, it is customers, it is shareholders, and it is your employees. So develop your policies, good policies for employees. See profitability from shareholders' point of view. Develop products which will make you obviously profitable. That's what we do business for. And customer is God, so customer is always right. But make sure you understand the customer and develop that is in line what their requirements are. So if you do this stakeholder management and stakeholder engagement properly, I think you can't go wrong. These are three things I would probably focus on.
Thank you for sharing this with us. We would also like to know, when did you develop an interest in ESG?
Okay. So I always had interest in ESG. It's just that it is dormant. Okay. So you always, whenever you develop anything, you always have to think of the environment and the impact that the product might make on the environment or the social strata. In case of software, we are not much involved into physical impacts that we make to the environment, but we are a software. But we definitely, when we make products, they impact the society. Okay, you take ChatGPT, the GPT-4, which has come off late, right? It is going to change the way people think, or they might lose job. It is a very powerful AI-based software, and it can do a lot of things. It can automate a lot of things in a lot of areas, right? So those things are it's actually scary. If you there was an interview on ABC from the founders of OpenAI who developed this product, right? They also are aware of the side effects of these, and I think when I came across this AI, even the product that we are developing for that matter is based on AI. It is not as high-end as GPT-4, but it is based on the AI platform, right? So it is about only learning, but GPT-4 does a lot of things. So restricting products and enabling them only for the good, and making sure that we restrict it to a level where it does not harm the society or it is not misused, is something that is very important. That is when I felt that this actually comes as part of social governance, if you ask me, right? So this is social impact. So this is one of the reason I think that I feel that it will come in the play. Other couple of reasons which like I said, it is dormant, is right. When I used to travel across US, or when we do also in India, right, you see a lot of wildfires, right? Wildfires where it destroyed acres and acres of land. All the forests are burned. And there is the data that shows that, we lose hundreds of hectares of land every year due to forest fires, right? That's a huge loss to the nation. And this is only in India I'm talking about, right? You just imagine California fires. You can't control them, right? There are 480,000 crores 2020-2021 is what we lost. 480,000 crores loss in forest fires, right? There are average 1,200 to 2,000 forest fires in India every year. 1,200 to 2,000 plus forest fires. And this is actually destroying the world for future generation. That is going to impact how we live. If there are no trees, right, how are we going to survive? There won't be any water, right? So controlling all these factors. Okay, you talk about plastics, right? We always keep talking from 20 years, 15 years, or last 5 years, we have been talking seriously, taking plastic seriously. There are products that have come up, but they are not adopted. So I think enforcing ESG is going to help us compliances from companies, organizations across India and globe. And I think that is where I started developing interest when WC called me. That is where I understood all this, how I can get involved in these particular So learning these things are just going to enhance my knowledge and apply my skills for the product and companies here.
You have actually talked about technology a lot before, but still in this section now, we would ask you about the technology upgrades, the changes you have seen in your professional life, and what changes do you see with the advent of 5G, IoT, AI, ML, blockchain, and so on?
Yeah. It's very interesting actually. In my career, when I started my career, I started my first job, and the product or the tool that we were developing, as I said, for a company in ERP solution, that time we used to call automation, making paperless offices. Okay, that is when we started somewhere. This was late 90s. 95 to 90, 96 to 2000, right? So making paperless offices was a great achievement then. Okay, that is when I started my career. Today, no one talks about it. Okay, paperless offices. Yes, it is good for the environment. Less paper is again part of ESG. But that was the basic technology where we used to develop products in C and C++, or at the most there were products like Informix, Sybase. Today they don't even exist. Sybase, I'm not sure, maybe I'm wrong in my statement, but no one uses Sybase today, right? These were great relational database in terms of technology. C was a great programming language. It still continues to be a very good programming language. But from there onwards, today we have come across where in last 25 years, today we see Python as a leading language. Forget Java. In between there came Java. Java still continues to lead. Java, C, and Python continue to be the top languages when it comes to programming. Besides, there are a lot better languages like Golang, which has come off recent. I'm not recent, almost 5 years now, if I'm not wrong. And they can develop better products. But then the whole idea here is that we have come a long way. It used to take years together to develop product. Okay, it used to take 2 years to develop a product. The first product when I was in US, it took us a good one and a half year to develop a large scale product. Okay, today you can develop products in days, if not days, weeks. Okay, and that is the kind of tools and programming and technology is there today. We are on the fly. And now GPT is just changing. You don't probably need programmers today. Okay, so it is it can write programs for you. Actually, GPT can write programs for you. So this is such a destructive technology, also you can say, if not used correctly. Okay, let me complete my sentence. Is that if not used correctly, it can be destructive technology. If used correctly, it can be a boon to humankind. So yes, AI, artificial intelligence is great. Having said that, I don't think AI will go to a level where human beings, it cannot match human beings. It's eventually a machine where you can switch on and switch it off, correct? No matter to what extent it will learn on its own, but it can always be switched off. And the learning that we are going to use in artificial intelligence is only dependent on what we teach. So I think the product companies have a very big role to play here on what to train this AIs with and what not to train this AIs with. Okay, so if that is governed properly, I think AI can be very, very useful to us. People across the globe will adapt to this change, right? When calculators came, people thought they will lose their job, right? When computer automation started, a lot of companies used to feel, even I have faced this during my implementation at one of the large companies in my early stage, where people used to feel like they used to ask me questions, will I lose my job, right? But that doesn't happen. People, not all jobs will go away, but people will adapt. There will be new jobs that will be created. There are always opportunities in the world, but there will be impact on humankind. The interview we are doing today, there can be an AI bot which can ask me questions. Okay, that is happening already, right? So these are and it can figure out, it can do data mining in all the social media profiles that I have, and it can actually come up with amazing questions, and and it can define in what direction the interview can go. So
And then it can actually talk about you, and you don't have to actually talk about yourself.
Exactly, it can analyze your personality and tell you what kind of person you are, right? So that is predictive analytics to you. I mean, intelligence is built into software today. You said IoT, today from paperless offices, I can sit at my home, at my office, and I can say, give a command for the robot to start cleaning at home, right? You can turn on the AC of your car 5 minutes before you are getting into the car, right? You can just say, play some music, okay? Otherwise, we used to go take those cassettes, insert in the tape recorder, rewind, start. For playing one song, how much efforts we used to take, or in my generation, I have seen it. But today you just say, I want to play this song, Alexa or Google Assist or whichever voice assist you want to use. It will start playing that song in just 2 seconds, right? Such a beautiful thing, and that's useful technology. But there can be destructive technology. What if someone like terrorists use it to build bombs, right? Today you can search Google and find out how to create bomb, which is very destructive. So that is something what I am saying is should not be taught to the GPT kind of AI machines, right? Or Google search should not fetch this kind of results, right? These are talks which are already going out in the industry. I'm just repeating them or bringing it up front again. But yeah, it is very assuring to know that we are developing such a great technology. But at the same time, there is also fear in lot of people's mind that, oh, can this snatch my job, or can this affect me in what manner? I think time will only tell, and these products will not. This won't happen overnight. It will be. They will also mature over a period of time. They are not to the best possible extent today. This is just the beginning of the AI, I would call it. Yes, AI has been there for 20 years. I have myself developed an artificial intelligence using pattern recognition, so signature verification and character recognition. That is an first AI deep learning project which I developed during my academic years. This was 25 years ago when I was doing my software engineering. From there to today, AI has evolved today. You don't have to write those neural network in C to create nodes and synapses simulation of human brain. They are already available. Okay, there are Amazon SageMaker to so many tools from Google and third party. So many tools are available, which ready-made network is available, where you can just feed the data, it will train, and then it will learn, and you get the outcome. We used to write code for developing those network at that point of time. That was my project, actually. That was one of the best projects I have done in my academic career. And I think it's nice to see technology evolvement. We just have to embrace it, and we also have to upgrade ourselves and adapt ourselves. We learn something new and move on. I think it's going to help us only.
Now from technology to governance. Since you're now an ESG certified corporate governance expert and have been on a board, what values do you aim to offer to the corporate world?
I think we've covered partly this, but I will cover a little more details. Is basically, see, ESG or enterprise social governance as environmental social governance, as we call, is basically taking care of environment for our future generations. Social, when we call it, is about how we can positively impact the social strata by there are actually 17 SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, by the UN Charter, which all countries are actually applying, and that comes as part of ESG as well. Okay, so these no poverty, food for all, or clean water for everyone. There are 17-point program. I will not go into everything, but if you want to do, if you want to develop organizations for the future which do not impact environment and which consider the well-being of all stratas of the society. ESG is a great program, and this UN Charter for SDG, which India has already started with Niti Aayog a long time ago, and all these things are only going to ensure that companies do not develop something that can uh, affect the environment, right? So there are going to be compliances, and ESG is going to help me and the companies and comply with those policies and governance standards, so that we keep the world safe for our next generations, right? And it with a better quality of life for everyone. So improve the health standards for all stratas of society, right? So all these things are definitely great. I'm learning those, and I'll be able to apply this to the products I work. Could be software products. I also have interest in hardware, electronics, or it could be coming to civil construction. A lot of areas when it comes to product, it doesn't matter which product it is. So when you do product development, I can apply these concepts. Okay, all these ESG related learnings which I'm getting from this course, I will be able to effectively apply and make sure that the company is profitable uh, without coming in trouble. Okay, that is most important thing for company, because these compliances will become harder and harder every year. Okay, in next 5 years. And then 30 years, 2070, we should have zero carbon footprint. That is what India's goal is. Probably we will achieve by 2050. We already see we are using fuel with 20% ethanol, right? We are using electric cars. So everywhere this is going to impact any company, even come to social impact, software companies, operations, you need to have a ramp for physically disabled employees, right? Today, most companies do not have this ramp. Okay, that is a very basic thing. I was 20 years ago when I was in the US, every company had a ramp, right? They are already up ahead on that part. Now, that's just a small part. We are ahead in the other areas. But we need to comply to this, right? Any customer who comes to the company office should have that facility given. Otherwise, this becomes a compliance issue. This is just one small example, but I should be able to contribute to such compliances by learning courses. Of course, there are other areas when it comes to software, I'll be able to contribute by developing products. Okay, I would be definitely, there are no products in ESG or corporate governance. There are very basic products, right? As the compliances become more and more complex, there is automation required, checks and balances. We cannot wait. Claims used to take 90 days to process healthcare claims. With automation today, they take 30 days or less than 30 days to process. Same thing will happen with these compliances. If we cannot wait for compliances to process through for 45 days and 90 days, right? They should be quick. So the systems that need to be developed in software, I should be able to contribute them as well, right? So risk avoidance, risk mitigation with respect to these governances is something I think I should be able to contribute very effectively. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Now coming to the last part of the session, where we would like to have a feedback from you. As you are aware that we are building the industry magnets community for cross-pollination of knowledge and a community of independent directors for having a better corporate governance in the country. What are your thoughts about these initiatives taken by the WDC team?
Yes, I mean, it's an amazing program, I'll say. Okay, so these initiatives, as we have spoken, are very much required for a better world tomorrow. How do we develop a better world tomorrow? Only if we know what are the compliances, do we have the knowledge how to take care of them? How can we avoid risks, right? When such compliances come into play, how can we have a proper guiding path to develop good organizations, less wastage, less water wastage, or less carbon footprint, or no carbon footprint, right? Reusable products. Take it anywhere. Social governance we have spoken. So this, as I was mentioning earlier, also this particular program is helping a lot to know. Whatever I spoke was basically based on what I have learned through the learnings that I have acquired through the course. And I think not that I did not know, but it only made me rightly enabled, right? Half knowledge is not great. You need to understand everything. And so from that point of view, this course, the knowledge, that enhancement, that everyone who runs through this course is going to help companies, organization, and boards to function properly with less risks, more profitability, and there is growth opportunities in ESG itself. There is tremendous growth opportunities in developing ESG products, as I said, or in compliances. Everyone has an opportunity, right from content writing all the way to developing products. So if we are able to comply with these governances, which we are learning through the courses, WDC has taken a great initiative to start this program. People like us who are experienced, but who also need to know what is it that is coming in the future, right? So if we are ready for that, then only we can develop better organizations. So I think this is a very good guidance that has been given to us. Mr. Murthy is our professor. He's teaching a lot of things through his experiences that he already has in these areas. And we also refer to a lot of material that is shared by WDC, as well as the one which is available on the net. So it channelizes us to start in the right direction. It's not the end, it is just the beginning. I think the community need to be aware of these things so that, like I said, we are globally competitive, right? Today, it's not no more a product you don't develop only for country. You need to scale it up to match and make profitable business across the globe. And if you need to be competitive across the globe, and if you develop products which are viable, you will survive. If you don't, some other product comes and kills you, right? So profit margin plus compliances, both are necessary. And I think these courses are geared up to enhance the industry knowledge. So this is quite useful, at least for me. I have been one of the earlier batches I have joined. So I'm learning a lot, actually. Thank you so much, to WDC and the team that you guys have doing a wonderful job.
Thank you for your very insightful feedback. And I must say that was a great and very enriching conversation with you. And I'm confident that your insights will inspire the future leaders. Thank you, Upendra, for joining us today. Wish you the very best for your future endeavors.
Thank you very much. And my pleasure.
Moreover, trust that this initiative by Directors Institute unquestionably expanded the participants' understanding and enriched their mind.